Yo, yo, yo. What's good with it, y'all? It's your boy Lamborghini Preem. Back once again talking this boxing shit. And the topic of this video is going to be an excellent fight, in my opinion. It's the upcoming light heavyweight clash between Badou Jack and the current WBC champion up at 175. My man, Adonis knock you the fuck out, Superman Stevenson. Yeah, that's my dude right there. I fuck with Stevenson, man. A lot of people don't like Stevenson. They think he been fighting a bunch of tomato cans, but I beg to differ, man. I beg to differ. Now, has Stevenson been fighting the best competition he could be fighting? No. Is it a bunch of politics behind that? Yes. Does that make me want to give him a pass? Yes, it does. It does make me want to give him a pass for a few reasons. The first of which is because I blame Kovalev and his team for the reason that fight didn't happen. And that fight not happening was then the justification for Andre Ward not necessarily having to urgently have to fight Stevenson. Because A, Stevenson was reticent, or not reticent, but it just didn't happen, the fight between him and Kovalev. And B, he seemed to call out Ward, but he ain't seem heavy in the game, like really lobbying like he should have been, in my opinion. Because if I was Stevenson, first of all, Stevenson could beat Kovalev, and he has a decent shot to beat Ward too. So I'd have been lobbying like it was at one point, I think around the time of the first fight between Kovalev and Ward, where he was really actively lobbying for the winner, but then Andre Ward won, and we didn't hear no more about that shit. You know what I mean? It went straight to Kovalev rematch. Now, true indeed, the next fight should have been a Kovalev rematch, if for no other reason than because Kovalev is the champion. He didn't get knocked out. It was a close fight. He gave Ward a shot to win his title. The least Ward could do would be to give him a shot to win his title back. You know what I'm saying? So, and plus, too many people, it was too much controversy surrounding that first fight, man. They had to run that shit back. So, I'm not mad at Ward or Stevenson for that shit not happening. But even still, at that point, Stevenson's still not fighting Ward or Covey. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. So, who's left for him to fight other than Alvarez? You know? But then Alvarez took the step-aside money. I don't know, man. I mean, Stevenson should have been fighting Alvarez, definitely. But Alvarez taking the step-aside money, shit, I can't knock him for taking it. And also, I can't knock Stevenson for giving it to him if he go take it. So then, if you take the step-aside money, though, in my opinion, I can't then be mad at the guy for not fighting you. Because you took the fucking bag, though. I mean, I'm not mad at it. I mean, it is what it is. You got your compensation. You know what I mean? You were supposed to get your chance, but you got your compensation instead. You took the compensation. You stepped aside. Like, why? I don't know why people tripping about that shit, but, you know, it is what it is. Me personally, I can't trip on it. I fucks with Alvarez, but I can't see him beating Stevenson no way, personally. Now, maybe technically he's brilliant and he's got some shit up his sleeve to where he could probably box circles around Stevenson, but at some point in that fight, that right hand is going to land, man, and that's it. Excuse me, the left hand is going to land, and that's it. Stevenson left hand is fucking lethal. I mean, yo, Tony Bellew was taking heavy shots from David Haye. Granted, David Haye had an Achilles problem, so his power is not going to be nowhere near what it should have been. But he had a few bombs in him for that fight. You know what I'm saying? Tony Bellew took them shits, ate them. But when Stevenson hit that motherfucker, he didn't eat that. He looked hurt, and badly hurt, a lot of times in that fight. You know what I mean? I still give Stevenson a lot of credit for that win. The only win I give Stevenson more credit for than that is the Chad Dawson win. Because I did not think that he even had a shot in hell to beat Chad Dawson. I'm like, okay, the guy got a puncher's chance to win this fight. If he land on Stevenson, if he land on Dawson, it could be a problem. And Dawson's still to this day one of my favorite fighters. Shout out Chad Dawson. You know what I mean? Salute to him. He's still doing his thing. I'm hoping he can make it back to the top. Being a technically sound fighter, you can always make it back. You know what I mean? Just gotta dedicate yourself, get back in that grind, and go through the bullshit again, climb that motherfucking mountain and get what's yours. But like I was saying with Stevenson, man, him beating Chad Dawson was just really impressive to me. You know what I mean? And it just really made me look at Stevenson's ability through a different light. In a different light, I should say. So, like I said, who was he fighting now? What the fuck? Badou Jack on the other hand. Excuse me, I almost lost my train of thought in this month. Hold on, why these motherfuckers calling me? Hold on. Yeah, my bad. I don't know why motherfuckers always hit my other phone when I'm making these videos, but it is what it is. It had to shock me back anyway. I almost forgot who the hell Stevenson was fighting. But yeah, he fighting my man Badou Jack. And Badou Jack is a great fighter in my opinion. Probably the best fighter in the TMT stable, in my opinion right now. It's a toss-up between him and Tank, but Tank seemed to have discipline problems. And, you know, that not making weight shit, I'm just not a fan of that at all, you know, so it is what it is. But Badou Jack is probably the best guy in the gym right now, or in the TMT stable. I think he won his last fight against James DeGale. It was officially ruled a draw, but I definitely think Badou Jack edged that one out, man. He won by at least 2 rounds. And he really beat the shit out of James DeGale, because James DeGale ain't look right since that, really. You know, that Truax shit, that was wild. But Jack is going to have a good night, fighting Stevenson at first. First 5 rounds, I feel like Badou Jack going to be doing his thing, getting in that ass. And, you know, winning on technical ability. Then I believe a little bit of fatigue is going to set in, because niggas is only human. Around that 6th, 7th, 8th round, that's when Stevenson going to start landing. And when he do, all bets are fucking off. Especially if he land early, man. Stevenson got the kind of power to knock your ass out with one shot. So all 12 rounds, that's all he need is the one shot. So, and he's gonna land it. You know what I'm saying? The question is, can my man Badou Jack hold that shit and still stay on his game enough to win this fight? I don't think he can. I mean, now true indeed, Stevenson, especially when he gets tired, he can become a one-trick pony, and you can see certain shit coming from a mile away. But he's a lot better with that left hand than he gets credit for, man. The way that he sets it up, the things that he does to make sure that it lands, I don't think he gets enough credit for. It's a lot of subtle nuances going on with my man Stevenson doing this thing. Because like I said, Chad Dawson was one of the best technical boxers I have seen in a while, especially defensively. Chad was definitely defensively sound. And when he got caught, man, it was concussive. You know what I mean? And you don't lose the motherfucking power to the end of your career, they say. But even then, I mean, Big George Foreman was down there 50-something, 50. He was pretty old. He was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was maybe 44 when he won the title, the world championship. And he knocked Michael Moore young ass the fuck out. Smooth the fuck out. You know what I mean? That's still one of the greatest fights ever, man. Most improbable victory ever. One of them. You know? So, I mean, that power ain't going nowhere. And to me, I feel like eventually when Stevenson land, he's going to really hurt Jack bad. Because we seen Jack hurt at lower weight classes from guys with a lot less power than Stevenson. But, I mean, do I think that Jack could surprise everybody and beat Stevenson handily with a real good technical decision? Possibly. Do I believe that that's realistic? Not really. Because Stevenson came up under the tutelage of Emanuel Stewart. And if he remembers the teachings of Emanuel Stewart, which I'm sure he got people on his team to keep that shit alive in his head. If he actually goes by that tutelage, I believe that he's smarter when it comes to boxing. Just like all Emanuel Stewart fighters, they just really good. They usually have good jabs, and they usually got good follow, like basically good jab right hand. But in his case, jab left hand. You know what I'm saying? But the strategies that they use, like if you go watch Thomas Hearns versus Ray Leonard, the first fight, the first 8-9 rounds. And you see the things that Tommy Hearns is doing to Ray Leonard. The subtle nuances, the subtle things that he's doing to get Ray off his game. He made Ray fight his fight. And that's something that I see a lot when it comes to Stevenson, man. When Stevenson fight guys, he seemed to be a one-dimensional big puncher, but he makes these guys fight his fight. So, yeah, I can't do nothing but pick my man officially. Well, this is my official pick at this point. Because as I'm doing this, I'm starting to think, you know, maybe my man Jack got a chance, but like I said, man, we already know Stevenson is gonna land, and when he do, it's lights out. So I'm gonna go with Stevenson by knockout. I say 10th, 11th round, and if not, then Badou Jack by decision, 8-4. So that's what I'm gonna say, man. I'm gonna give it to my man Stevenson. I know he's older. I know he's you know, he's a little shop worn or whatever, and people want him to fight a big name. Well, here's your big name. Well, not a big name, but some stiff competition. And here's some stiff competition from a younger guy that's supposed to have a lot more technical ability. Well, I shouldn't say supposed to. He do got a lot more technical ability than Stevenson, but I don't expect it to mean much at the end of the day. I expect him to give Stevenson a higher fight, but I expect Stevenson to knock him out. That left hand is gonna land, and when it does, I believe it's lights out. So for all y'all that fuck with me, I'ma need you, of course, to make sure you go on over to my other channel, youtube.com/SupremeGeneral. I'm gonna leave a link in the description, and go ahead and subscribe to my other channel. You know what I'm saying? Check out some of my music. It's not some of my music, all of my music. Basically, my entire career is on there. You know what I'm saying? You can check out all my videos from the beginning to now. And you can see how far I've come, you know what I'm saying? Started out, I've been independent since the beginning, baby. Started out, shit was low, you know what I mean? Came up, got my shit together. Now I'm out here doing what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you go check out my all new album, It's My Turn, the Throne Ascension LP. It's a motherfucking classic, and it's available everywhere music is found. It's available iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, Tidal, Google Play, Apple Music, all that shit. You know what I mean? Fuck with me one time. And it's even on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like I said, just type in a search joint, The Supreme General, and all my music will pop up, man. Check me out. Fuck with me one time. I do believe you will be pleasantly surprised. Alright, so thanks once again for listening. I appreciate you. 100.